Hi there, thank you for clicking on this video. We are going to continue on with our third grade essay on third grade, and we're going to talk about body paragraphs today. We're actually going to write 3 body paragraphs today because we're writing about 3 things that we did in third grade. So I'm going to go over what a body paragraph is, the things that are included, and then I'll show you using the items that I want to talk about in my essay to continue writing. So we'll talk about body paragraphs. Here we go. So the body paragraphs are in the middle of the essay. So typically you start with an introduction, you do some body paragraphs, and then you do the conclusion. The body paragraphs are in the middle, and that's where all your details are. As you can see, there's a lot of supporting details that go into a body paragraph. So first thing that you need to do is do an introduction or a topic sentence. It's usually about 1 to 2 sentences, and it tells the main idea of the essay. So the main idea of our essay is about third grade. So reintroduce the topic sentence and then introduce what you're focusing on. Are you focusing on math? Are you focusing on COVID, science, ELA, communities, whatever you wanted to talk about for one paragraph, that's what you're going to focus on. So your introduction and topic sentence is going to kind of focus your writing, and it's also going to focus the reader to identify what they're going to be reading about in that paragraph. So all you're going to focus on is the one thing that you chose per paragraph, all right? Then we have supporting detail 1, 2, and 3. Typically when you're writing a body paragraph, you want about 3 details to support. This is where you write sentences that talk about each of the, where you talk about the thing that you're writing about. So let's say I'm writing my sentence about math. So I introduce the main idea, which is about math, and then I do some supporting details. So what types of things did you learn in math? Maybe you talk about the centers, maybe you talk about multiplication, division. So all you're doing with the supporting detail 1, 2, and 3 is writing 3 sentences about your main idea, okay? Then typically at the end of a body paragraph, what you do is you do a conclusion or a closing sentence. So you don't just end with your supporting details, you kind of refer back to your main idea and say, this is the paragraph where I talked about math, and just kind of close it off with one sentence. So typically for a body paragraph, you have 1 to 2 sentences here, 3 sentences, that's 4 or 5. Usually body paragraphs are at least 5 sentences. If you want to do more than that, great. I recommend it because you want to use as many supporting details as you can. You always want to have an introduction and you want to have a conclusion. Okay, so you're going to do this 3 separate times. So with my essay, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be writing about COVID-19, Christmas, and math. So I'm going to do 1 body paragraph about COVID-19, 1 body paragraph about Christmas, and then another one about math. And the supporting details focus on your main idea. Focus on the COVID-19, focus on Christmas, and focus on math. So I'm going to show you how I do each of the body paragraphs right now. Let's get started. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to quickly reread my introduction. It says, do you remember being in third grade? Did you like third grade? Third grade was an interesting time for me, but I loved being in third grade. In third grade, I learned a lot of math, Christmas was a fun time, and COVID-19 happened. All right, so these are the 3 things that I'm going to be talking about. These are the 3 things that I chose right here. First thing that I'm going to talk about is I learned a lot of math. So that's going to be my focus for body paragraph 1. And I'm going to write body paragraph 1, math. I'm going to write that because that is all I'm going to focus on for this paragraph. So first thing I need to do is introduction and topic sentence, write, and tell my main idea. So since I'm doing my first body paragraph, I'm going to do first. In third grade, referring back to what the whole essay is going to be about. It's about third grade. I learned a lot of stuff in math. Okay, there's my topic sentence. Now I'm going to get into detail 1, detail 2, detail 3. So the supporting details are just going to be all about math. What did I learn? We learned all about multiplication and division, which was fun and interesting. Okay, there's one detail. Next thing I'm going to talk about is centers. So now I'm just going to write a sentence about centers. Also, we had math centers where we rotated and did fun activities. All right, what I'm gonna do next is I did one sentence about multiplication and division. Second sentence is about math centers. Now the third thing that I'm gonna talk about is one of my favorite math centers, which was, let's say the game center where we did multiplication and division packets. One of the centers was games where we practiced multiplication in packets. All right, that's my final detail. All I need to do is do the conclusion or the closing sentence. So I'm gonna sum up my main idea. So remember, my main idea is all about math. So those were some things we did in math. Period. I am done with body paragraph number 1. Now I'm going to move on to body paragraph number 2. Notice how I only talked about math in this paragraph. Talked about division, talked about centers, talked about the multiplication packets. All I did was focus on math. I didn't go back to anything else. I didn't talk about Christmas, and I didn't talk about COVID-19. Each body paragraph is going to focus on one specific thing in 3rd grade. My second one is going to be about Christmas. I'm going to do is I'm going to write Christmas. All right, and now I'm going to follow the steps again. So I'm going to do introduction and topic sentence. I'm going to introduce the main idea. Another thing we did, oops, that's not how you spell it. Another thing we did in 3rd grade was a fun Christmas party. All right, so now all I'm going to do is talk about Christmas. Remember how we made plays? We typed up and created our own plays. That was so much fun. So we created our own Christmas plays in fun groups. Then, so that's supporting detail 1. Now I'm going to go into supporting detail 2. Then our parents came and we put on a production for them. And then I'm going to go into supporting detail number 3. Also, we sang a great song one day. All right, those are all my details. Christmas. Now I'm going to get into conclusion and closing sentence. Christmas was so fun! Exclamation point. Awesome. All right, so notice, again, all I did in this paragraph was talk about Christmas. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. Introduction, 3 supporting sentences, and a conclusion. Now what am I going to do? Body paragraph 3. My body paragraph 3 is going to be about COVID-19. So I'm not going to talk about math, not going to talk about Christmas, I'm going to talk about COVID-19. Okay, so now all I'm going to do about COVID. So this is my body paragraph 3. This is my final thing that I'm going to talk about. Finally, something strange happened at the end of the year. COVID-19. Okay, there's my topic sentence. So what I did was introduce the main idea. I introduced something interesting that happened, which is COVID-19. Now I'm going to use 3 supporting details to talk about COVID-19. So maybe I'll go into what is COVID-19. COVID-19 was a deadly virus that was all over the world. So that's detail number 1. My detail number 2 is we had to leave school in March. Might put an exclamation point. That's detail number 2. And then at detail number 3, I'm going to get into distance learning. So we had to do distance learning. And I did not see my friends and teacher for the rest of the year. I'm going to add in one more detail because you can always add in more details. And I'm going to talk about we had to do everything over Zoom. So we had to do learning on the computer and Zoom video call. Okay, after my supporting details, now I do a conclusion. So I'm going to sum up the main idea. The end of 3rd grade was interesting and different because of COVID-19. All right. So basically what I just did today was I did all my writing. Okay. So I had a body paragraph 1, only focused on math. I had a body paragraph 2 where I only focused on Christmas. And then I had a body paragraph 3 where I only focused on COVID-19. So this is where you add in all your great details about 3rd grade. Go get started, friends. Okay, so what you need to go do now is you need to write down 3 body paragraphs for each of the different things that you're going to talk about for 3rd grade. That's a lot of writing. 5, 10, 15, that's at least 15 sentences. But guess what? You're about to be in 4th grade where you write a lot more than that, so we need to start practicing. And it's really fun because it's something that you did in school. So go ahead and go write your paragraphs and type them onto your homeschool log. Let's go. Have fun.